Tonight on NewsVision.
Sir, you know that you crashed 2 times on this ride alone, right?
Did I?
You did.
A UM shuttle driver has been arrested for driving under the influence with students on board. We will bring you all the details about it.
And I really don't think I can go back to trusting UM transportation so quickly.
Plus, a record drought in South Florida. We will examine its effects on the Everglades and on all of us.
This situation is probably exacerbating that access to, that clean drinking water.
And later on, we will take you overseas to the Winter Olympics for a closer look at how a centuries-old motto about togetherness has taken center stage at the Games. All these stories and more on NewsVision, and it starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Mary Stos.
And I'm Johnny Mushton. Thank you for joining us. The University of Miami Department of Transportation is under investigation after one UM shuttle driver was arrested on Monday for allegedly driving under the influence with students on board.
Police say the driver was impaired while transporting students from the Rosenstiel School of Marine, Atmospheric and Earth Science, or RASMES, to Virginia Key to the Coral Gables campus.
And Amanda Muhammad has been following the story and joins us live at the Coral Gables Marathon gas station on US 1, where students say they convinced the driver to pull over.
Amanda, tell us what happened.
The University of Miami Department of Transportation official website says that their hurricane shuttles provide more than 700,000 rides per year for students, faculty, and visitors to get around the Coral Gables campus, as well as to and from the Rasmus campus. 11 students were on board the shuttle around 3 p.m. on Monday, returning from the Rasmus campus, which is about 20 minutes from the main Coral Gables campus, when they noticed that the driver was swerving, striking objects, and driving erratically. Police identified the driver as 45-year-old Timothy Kowaleski, who was hired by a third-party company UM uses called Academy Bus in June of 2025 and was terminated on Tuesday. Academy Bus told me that they conduct a rigorous pre- and after-hire screening process, which includes drug and alcohol tests. I spoke with a few passengers on board the shuttle who say that they noticed something was wrong not long before the crash.
Can you put the bus in park?
Yeah, sure.
The bus is in park?
It's not in park. It's not.
First-year University of Miami student Alejandro Andrade takes a shuttle to the Rasmus campus on Virginia Key every Monday for his introduction to marine biology class. He says Monday's pickup was different from the start.
He's normally pretty early.
Shuttle driver Timothy Kowaleski arrived late to pick up students from UM's Coral Gables campus and then again after class on Virginia Key.
Probably around 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
But being tardy was not the only thing off. First-year student Maya Dejan, who boarded the shuttle around 2:50 p.m. with Alejandro, says they saw a broken window in the back row, but did not think much of it until...
I was sitting right in that back row, and about maybe 2 to 5 seconds.
The window was starting to warp a bit, that I realized something might be wrong. So as it was going to fall, I sort of put my arm. Shortly after that, the window actually fell in.
Students say the driver then made an illegal U-turn before hitting multiple trees and a pole in front of a Marathon gas station at 382 South Dixie Highway in Coral Gables, about a 5-minute drive from the main campus.
He wasn't really aware of what he was doing, so we kind of had to convince him that something was wrong for him to pull over. And when he did, he was pulled over halfway onto the sidewalk.
I don't need the cops. I'm getting involved in this.
Maya recorded this video telling Kowaleski the police and first responders were on their way. Coral Gables police arrived shortly before 3:30 p.m. According to the arrest report, officers say Kowaleski smelled of alcohol, was sweating, and slurring his words. Police say he refused to take a field sobriety or a breathalyzer test and was taken away in an ambulance before being arrested. No students were physically injured, but junior Ethan Hurt says he later went to the emergency room after developing sinus irritation from fiberglass particles.
My nose was just stuffy. I was sneezing all the time. It was super irritated and tingly. I wasn't sick beforehand. There's no way I got sick in a matter of 3 hours.
Now, some students are debating if they want to continue taking the shuttle to class.
I feel like I have to thoroughly look someone in the eyes and see if they're okay in the right state to drive now. And I really don't think I can go back to trusting UM transportation so quickly.
The facing multiple charges, including driving under the influence, DUI with property damage, and refusal to submit a breath test. And these aren't his first offenses. Academy Bus also told me that the Coral Gables police cited him just last month for careless driving after hitting the mirror of a parked car. The University of Miami released an official statement saying, quote, "The incident involving a University of Miami campus shuttle is under further investigation by the Coral Gables Police Department. The safety of our students, faculty, and staff members and the greater university community remains our top priority, but Director of UM Parking and Transportation Eli Stefan has yet to comment on the matter and if the department will be making any changes." However, I spoke with multiple students aboard the shuttle who say that when they returned to campus that no UM personnel was there to talk to them and that they were not contacted by administration who offered to meet with them until late Tuesday evening. This remains an active investigation. Live in Coral Gables, Amanda Mohammed, UMTV.
Thank you, Amanda. Now, a new law is changing how Florida residents can get a driver's license. Lazaro Chavez tells us more.
For many Floridians, a driver's license is more than just a card. It means access to work, school, and independence. But as of February 6, that access looks different. A new law in Florida mandates both the written and the driving skills exam for a standard, non-commercial license must be administered in English only.
It's something negative. In this country, there are many Spanish-speaking people and many people who don't speak English fluently, so it's discriminatory.
Before this change, the exams were available in multiple languages, including Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, Russian, and others. Interpreters were also allowed in some cases, but under the new rule, interpreters will no longer be permitted to help. The change could affect a significant portion of the state. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, about 1/3 of Florida residents aged 5 or older speak a language other than English at home. In Miami-Dade County, that number is more than 75%, with Spanish and Haitian Creole among the most common languages spoken. State officials say the move is intended to standardize testing and ensure drivers understand traffic laws and road signs, which are primarily in English. But there is no publicly available data that shows a direct link between non-English testing and higher rates of accidents for non-commercial drivers. Only 3 other states, Oklahoma, South Dakota, and Wyoming, currently require driver's license tests to be taken only in English. Local officials say they are trying to make things easier for residents.
We start working with the state to try to implement the transition. So we asked them through state leaders to see if they can give off a couple more weeks. So that way people have the option to, if they already get some appointments, they can use that appointment and pass that exam in Spanish.
One way the county is making things easier for residents is by having QR codes like this one right here outside of DMVs where they can scan and make appointments. However, the law still is getting mixed reactions from people. Some residents believe the law is a positive step because it would encourage immigrants to learn English.
Everybody here speaks Spanish or any other language. We live in groups, and that is good for the community, but at the same time, it's not good for the country. I think a unified country, you have to have one language.
But others worry the change could have unintended consequences, such as more people driving without licenses. For now, anyone seeking a Florida driver's license must prepare to take the exam in English. Meanwhile, community leaders say they'll keep pushing for adjustments as the rollout continues. For residents who made their appointments before the February 6th change, they still have until March 31st to be able to take the exam in another language. That means that they made the appointment on February 28th, but registered it in the system before February 6th, they can take it in any language, whether that be Spanish, French, Haitian Creole, or whatever is available in the system. The impact of this law could be huge, but its future is still to be determined. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Lazaro Chavez.
Thank you, Lazaro. After weeks of campaigning, the University of Miami has officially selected its new student government representatives for the 2026 year. More than 3,000 students voted this semester. The student group called for the U won for all 3 major positions they campaigned for, including president, vice president, and treasurer.
I'm literally shaking. I feel incredibly proud of all the work that the team has done. That my running mates did, Aaron, Dylan. Shout out to them. We ran an amazing campaign. We were super proud. We have a ton of experience, and we just can't wait to get started.
Their campaign focused on different ways to improve student life, such as giving students the ability to access cane cards on their mobile devices and creating an in-depth network of communication between administration and student body. 4U will officially take their spot in the student government office at the beginning of fall 2026 semester.
After failing to agree on funding for the Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. government is now in a partial shutdown. The DHS operates many different essential agencies like the Transportation Security Administration, Customs and Border Protection, the Coast Guard, and most importantly, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. In response to the death of 2 U.S. citizens at the hands of ICE agents back in January, Democratic lawmakers say they will refuse to vote to continue funding ICE until a reform is made to the federal law enforcement agency.
The American people know that ICE needs to be reined in. We believe that taxpayer dollars should be used to make your life more affordable, not to brutalize or kill American citizens in cold blood, like Renee Nicole Good or Alex Preddy.
Congress has passed funding for every department except for DHS. Since nearly 95% of its employees are considered essential, most TSA agents, Coast Guard military personnel, and immigration officers will have to work without pay. President Trump has not yet spoken with congressional Democrats about the partial shutdown, leaving no end in sight.
The private entity that handles licenses for the Trump Organization has filed trademark applications for the name of one South Florida airport. The filings were submitted just days before the Florida House Senate passed a bill on Tuesday to rename the Palm Beach International Airport after President Trump. Democratic lawmakers raised concerns that the trademark filing could allow the family to profit from the renaming. A Trump Organization spokesperson says the trademark would prevent bad actors from misusing the name, and the family will not receive any royalties. The bill now heads to the Florida Senate.
We'll take a short break, but coming up on NewsVision, Miami and the nearby Everglades are facing a historic drought. We'll tell you how it affects us all. Also, we'll introduce you to one man who uses his struggles to help homeless and keep Miami streets clean. NewsVision will be right back.
Eight skiers have died in a massive avalanche north of Lake Tahoe, making this the deadliest avalanche in California's history. The avalanche was roughly the size of a football field and struck near the group near Castle's Peak, which is a popular hiking and backcountry skiing spot. It was triggered by a massive snowstorm that moved throughout Northern California. Police are currently searching for one other skier who is missing from the group.
Extreme weather conditions, I would say, is an understatement. Lots of snow, gale force winds, making it impossible to see.
This is the second deadly avalanche in the area in 2 months. In January, one man on a snowmobile was killed during an avalanche near Castle Peak. Because conditions are still dangerous, the bodies will not be recovered until the weekend. Rescuers had to use special snow vehicle to get within 2 miles of the survivors, then skied over carefully so they didn't set off another avalanche during the rescue.
Miami is currently experiencing its worst drought in 25 years. Months of below average rainfall have resulted in lower water levels in the Biscayne Aquifer in the Everglades, which is Miami's main source of drinking water. The Biscayne Aquifer acts as an underground sponge, pulling in water from the Everglades. But with levels so low, there's not enough pressure to push fresh drinking water towards the coast, allowing salt water to infiltrate the water supply, destroying drinking wells. This drought isn't just affecting the residents of Miami. Local businesses and even animals in the Everglades face impacts from the drought.
Florida already has a lack of quantity and fresh drinking water before this drought, like good drinking water. We have a lot of polluted water, but not enough good, clean water. So this situation is probably exacerbating that access to, that clean drinking water.
The Native American tribe that Betty Osceola belongs to largely depends on water from the Everglades, as do many other Floridians. And with each passing day, the dry conditions and continued cooler weather mean that something as simple as a lightning strike could potentially be devastating to the area.
And even though it is drying up a little bit here in South Florida, the temperatures are slowly on the rise.
I won't lie, Johnny, I am not upset about these warming temperatures.
Well, to tell us a little bit more about those temperatures and the drought, we have student meteorologist William DePaula. Will, talk to us.
Yeah, guys, unfortunately, that drought has actually gotten a little bit worse over the last week. As we see here, as we zoom in, this is that extreme drought. Now, this is going to be covering much of the area to our west. That is the Everglades area, and that is where we are getting our drinking water from. As we take a look over here in Miami, we are in that yellow. So this means we're abnormally dry, bordering on that moderate and severe drought as we push further west. So you might think, oh, well, then we don't have to deal with those issues. But unfortunately, we do because this big area of red to our west. Now, with this really dry weather, we've actually had some really nice temperatures the last couple of days. Take a look outside right now. It's still nice and toasty down here in Miami, that mid-70s. A little bit warmer as we push further north in those inland areas as they're not along the water, where it's a little bit cooler. As we take a look at the temperature for the next couple of days, we're going to stay with those nice temperatures the next couple of days. Look at that, real nice and toasty on Sunday, feeling almost like summer here. But then look at that, we fall off a cliff down to 66 as our high on Monday and Tuesday. That just means we're going to be dealing with some really, really cool temperatures. Luckily, we do rebound as we push later on next week. Now, with these really nice temperatures, we're going to be dealing with some really, really humid conditions the next couple of days. We see those humidity values in the mid to upper 80s, but then look at that, as that front moves through, look at those values behind it. Down here in Miami, we're going to be down to 16 and then 14%. That just means it's going to be bone dry outside. It's going to be real cool, real dry, actually really comfortable if you head outside. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean we're going to be dealing with much rain. So take a look at that futurecast. We see maybe a spotty shower on Sunday afternoon here in the Miami area. Unfortunately, nothing out west. And then we see that rain coming through with that front, but then once it gets down here, it's going to break apart. And once again, probably not going to be dealing with much rain down here. We are going to be dealing with some cool temperatures. Looking at that 7-day forecast, we really see no rain in that forecast. We see those precip values staying right around 0%, and then those cool temperatures early next week, and then rebounding later on next week.
Well, thank you so much, Will. And in the heart of downtown Miami, now you're going to see a team of people that are helping reshape and rebuild other people's lives, just one street at a time.
Layla Pettis met with this team and is here to tell us more about what makes this group so special.
Well, the team started with 20 members and has since grown 3 times that size since 2011. But what truly makes this team so special is that many of these members are now cleaning the streets that they once slept on, and they're proving to other people that are still struggling that this isn't the end. From trimming trees to washing sidewalks, members of Miami's Downtown Enhancement Team are helping keep the city picture perfect. The program is part of Miami's Downtown Development Authority in partnership with Camila's House, a nonprofit that helps people experiencing homelessness rebuild their lives through housing, treatment, and job training. Leading the team is someone who's walked that same path, Kevin Garrett.
I started at Camila's House, and once I finished that, I started with the team cleaning the streets.
Kevin once struggled with addiction and homelessness himself. Now he's helping others going through the same thing.
A lot of them, they look to me as a leader, and they come to me for an advice. And I think I do a pretty good job of helping them out and leading them and giving them good advice.
Behind me, members of the Downtown Enhancement Team are trimming shrubs. Simple tasks to help keep the city shining. But for many of these people, this is more than just a job. It's a second chance at life and a fresh start. Since launching in 2018, the Downtown Enhancement Team has provided more than 60 people with steady jobs and a path toward long-term stability.
You know, the most important thing is to see the growth in them, that they've accomplished their goals in getting off the street and keeping downtown beautiful and clean.
For those who complete the program, opportunities don't stop there.
If they complete the program, they can get promoted to something permanent.
It's got me back on my feet, got me doing something good for downtown, and I like it.
As the program looks to grow to 100 members, Kevin's story is proof that hard work and hope can truly transform lives.
Every Monday through Friday, you can find the Downtown Enhancement Team in their bright yellow vests tackling a new corner of the city each day.
Thank you, Layla. And it seems like members of the Downtown Enhancement Team are not the only ones getting a second chance.
Some hopeful hearts are still waiting, and this time they have 4 paws and a lot of love to give. Miami-Dade Animal Services held a Valentine's Day event last week at Lincoln's Beard Brewery to show off their most eligible paw chillers. Young singles and families alike were able to meet 4 of the shelter's recent admitted residents and learn more about adoption and foster programs. The shelter waived adoption fees for pets over 4 months old in the weeks leading up to Valentine's Day, leaving the cost for adoption for these furry lovers at just $30 a rabies tag. Every adopted pet comes sterilized, vaccinated, and microchipped.
There's just so many beautiful dogs there. You think that the shelter is full of just like unwanted dogs, but there are just so many beautiful dogs, and people have to give it a chance. Just walk in for themselves and see all the options there are. And I just think if people try that, they might, adopt.
Miami-Dade County Animal Services Department is a no-kill shelter. The event coordinator said this is a part of a larger initiative to address an ongoing overpopulation crisis. The department hosts adoption events daily across the Miami metropolitan area.
We will take a short break now, but up next on NewsVision, Canes baseball went run for one with UCF in a 13-inning thriller. We will have highlights on how the game ended.
And the Winter Olympics are wrapping up, and Jaden Cohey recaps the last 2 weeks of patriotism and togetherness. We'll be right back.
Stay with us.
This is if kids start vaping, and I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Welcome to sports. I'm Liam Hickey.
And I'm Luke Bell. The Lady Canes take on Stanford tonight at the Watsco Center. It will be the second time these teams have faced each other since Stanford joined the ACC 2 years ago.
Taryn Jacobs is live at the Watsco with more. Taryn?
Luke and Leah, Miami women's basketball will tip off right here in the Watsco Center in just about 30 minutes. They're playing against the Stanford Cardinal, the second time these teams will play in program history. The first time being last season when Stanford joined the ACC. Miami lost that game by about 20 points, but now they're coming off a big win on the road against Boston College. Before that game, they lost 4 games straight, so they're coming into this game with momentum, and this will be a much-needed ACC win for them. Look for Rashea Kyle, the center, to lead the Canes on both ends of the basketball. She had her 16th double-double on the season against Boston College. Now this team is not likely to make it into March Madness, but that does not rule out any postseason play for them. This was pretty much a rebuilding year. They only returned 2 players, one of them being Anae Adams was really the only key one there, but Miami has 4 more games, including tonight, 2 more home games after tonight, so make sure you come back to the Watsco and support the Canes. We're in Coral Gables. Taryn Jacobs, UMTV.
Thanks, Taryn. The trial has started in the murder of former Miami Hurricanes football player Brian Pata, who was killed almost 20 years ago when he was on track to being drafted in the NFL.
His teammate, Rashawn Jones, is the one accused of the murder. In November 2006, 22-year-old Pata was killed outside his apartment in Kendall in southwest Miami-Dade.
Jones was arrested in 2021 and has since been in jail. The trial against him began on Tuesday, and several people have already testified.
Men's hoops and baseball have been on a roll this spring, and they reached a crescendo on Tuesday night when both teams delivered instant classics just minutes apart.
We'll start on the hardwood, where one team had Trey Donaldson and frankly the other did not, and that ended up being the difference.
Let's roll the highlights. Miami taking on Virginia Tech and Trey Donaldson taking over. Here he is going to be shaking the defender, and then he's going to switch home this three. Donaldson with a career-high 32-point performance, scored every single one of Miami's last 15 to close it out. Then right here, under duress, but he's going to stroke home this step-back J. And then next up, the ball screen action, top of the key, rolls the dice, Yahtzee, ties it up with the triple. Miami was without leading scorer Malik Renew for a large portion of this game. He was limited with the migraine, and the veteran guard stepped up in a big-time way, but no bigger moment than right here with a chance to give Miami the go-ahead, and he is going to bury this free throw. Then now one last time with a defensive stand on Ben Hammond's chest like bronchitis, throws up the shot, and it won't fall, and that's how it ends. Miami gets the win, 67-66, and is one step closer to the big dance, Luke.
What a win. And listen, Canes fans wasted no time going for the Watsco right over to the light for extra innings of baseball in a thriller against UCF on Tuesday night. Stadium seating? I've never heard of it. The view from the Lennar parking garage will do just fine.
Here was the big call from Gio Alonso with UMiami's very own WVOM Sports Radio.
Here's the pitch. Jaden swings, sends it to left field, back towards the outfield wall. It's over the wall and out of here! Touch him off, that's Shayan. First home run of the year, a two-run slam to deep center left, and Miami wins in the bottom of the 13th inning.
What a rake from the hometown kid.
Absolutely, I mean, incredible stuff. 5,000 miles away from campus, however, the closing ceremony for the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy is tomorrow. The games in Milan Cortina featured record-breaking performances and a lot of emotional moments.
But besides the competitions and the medals, many say the real story of the Olympics is about connection. Jaden Kohi has more.
From the snow-covered mountains of northern Italy to living rooms across the world, the 2026 Winter Olympics have once again brought countries together.
Feels amazing! Oh my God!
Go Canada!
Yeah! Go Canada! The people are so nice, so friendly. It's just been incredible.
This spirit of connection resonates personally with supporters such as Shannon Drobnik, who is the wife of Team USA's curling director Phil Drobnik. She says the games remind her of just how interconnected the world is.
But I even think about like where's my family come from? You know, I think of my roots. I've got Irish roots, I've got Swedish roots, and we're all here for the same reason, wanting to see your family and friends live out their dreams. And there's just something special that you can connect to.
Nearly 3,000 athletes from almost 100 countries have traveled to Italy, joined by coaches, staff, and about 2 million U.S. spectators. Among them, Australia's Ali Hickman, who made her Olympic debut at only 16 years old. She finished 15th in the qualifiers of big air women's snowboarding and celebrated with her family, who made an over 10,000-mile journey to support her.
I felt so amazing, and I'm so happy that they could come here and support me. And they were the loudest in the crowd, which is crazy.
It's really cool for her to get here to the Olympics at 16 and ride against the best in the world. It's pretty amazing.
The original Olympic motto is in Latin, Kithios, Althios, Fortios, which means higher, faster, and stronger. But in 2021, the word comunitaire, or together, was added to it. And here in Italy, that message is taking center stage.
In this world, there's so much division and so many countries that are battling economically and socially and that kind of stuff, and to be able to see the Olympic spirit, literally everybody coming together for these games and the support from one another in the different countries it's just really cool to see.
In a world that often feels divided, the Olympic Games offer a unique opportunity where the world literally comes together, not just to compete, but to connect and to learn.
Your world is so small when you live it day to day. And you just realize how many truly incredible people they are and hear people's stories.
While yes, the medals do matter, the energy throughout the events is contagious. Fans are cheering their hearts out. And athletes are embracing like old friends despite the competition. The events will conclude on the 22nd with a closing ceremony in Verona, about 70 miles east of Milan.
Kohi reporting from Milan. And speaking of the Olympics, the U.S. women team took home the gold today after defeating Canada.
Big opportunity for a finals rematch on the men's side if both teams can get it done in the semis tomorrow. But that'll be all from sports today. Mary, take it away.
Well, that's going to be all the time that we have tonight for NewsVision. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
We'll be back here next week, same place, same time. Have a great night.